Hi, my name is Jo Barnes and I am the director of the Entreprenette. The Entreprenette is aimed at educating and inspiring other entrepreneurs and entreprenettes to personal and professional success. Welcome to our Inspirational Interview series, where I am conducting a number of interviews with high-profile people to find out what inspired them to get where they are today. Hi Jill, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
We're here today with Jill White, who is a partner in Andy Hanselman Consulting. Jill, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay. Currently, I do work alongside my other half, who is my partner in business and partner in real life too, and that is Andy Hanselman Consulting, and we are a business consultancy that we help medium-sized companies to grow and develop, and Andy's a speaker on the circuit, and I just work with a lot of businesses that helping them to get better at what they do and how they do it.
Okay, tell us what's inspired you, Jill, to do what you're doing today.
Okay, well, I'm self-employed now and have been since 1994, September 94. I'm a Barnsley girl. My mum worked in a local co-op, my dad worked down the pit. I didn't know anybody who'd run their own business, and I wasn't a natural entrepreneur, but I was made redundant, and it was a case of go for it or sign on. So I actually did go for it. I absolutely hated it at the time. My boss, I did a little blue tack model of him and I stuck pins in it. Now I throw my arms around his neck because it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I just love being in control of my own destiny and doing what I am. I'm totally unemployable now. And I just love every day waking up and thinking, hey, this is what I want to do, I'm flexible, I can do it. I work really hard, but I love what I'm doing and I love working hard.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you've come across when running your own businesses?
Well, in the early days, we set up a business, Andy and myself, before Andy Hanselman Consultancy. We set up a training and consultancy business called Hallmarks Business Development, which we grew to 14, 15 people. We set ourselves goals in the early days. It was going to be a 10-year plan. It was 1995 to 2005, and we had our end in sight. We knew that come 2005 we wanted to sell the business or be in a position to sell the business or move on to the management team or whatever. And we found that having those goals, so that was our long-term goal. We had lots of short-term goals, and each year we would do this is where we are now, this is where we want to be in the next 12 months, 2 years. But little hiccups happen along the way. We were never a massive team, we grew to 14 people. But having people, which I love having people around me, but there are always things that happen with that team. And there are setbacks. And the bigger you become, the bigger the overhead comes. We have downturns, we have customers, we lose customers, and we've still got that team to support. So sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, what have we done? But you always find a way, and I think that is one of the qualities of the entrepreneur, is knowing that yes, there will be setbacks, there will be hiccups, but I always say being down is okay, but staying down is the problem, and you have to bounce back and find a way. And so far, touch wood, we've always found the way to bounce back.
So what do you think it is that really motivates you to bounce back?
I think it's determination and persistence, and I think it is, here we are now. We have, when we had a team, we're now down to 3 people, but when we had a team, I used to look through the window and I used to see the cars of people in my team, youngsters who had come to us from school, who were buying houses, who were meeting and getting relationships, having children, and I used to think, wow, they're getting cars and mortgages, and they're, they're working with us and just giving them those opportunities. And I loved sharing those opportunities with people and encouraging them. And one of the things I'm proud about is that 5 of them now have gone on to run their own businesses. So I'm personally inspired and motivated to keep going on, because for other people, I actually want to help other people and find a way, whatever it takes.
So having worked obviously quite closely with Andy over the last few years, how have you found the differences between a man in business and a woman in business?
That's an interesting one. Personally, in our relationship, Andy I need to be in a partnership. I'm not a sole trader, and I've got lots of people who are very successful sole traders, but for me, I do need someone to bounce ideas off, to have, if I'm having a bad day, so he's having a good day, or he's having a bad day, I'm having a good day. That balance works for us, and I think that is the thing about the male-female, the balance. Andy tends to, I won't say reckless, but he's actually, I aim for the stars as well, but with me there's always some realism in there. I'm a bit more balanced, I do the what ifs, I check things out. Not saying that he doesn't, but he's much more, yes, it will happen, whereas I'm a bit more grounded. I find a way. He is extremely facilitative, and he's fantastic at bringing the team on and working with the team, but I think I'm perhaps a little bit more realistic, a bit more patient, tenacious. I will get there. I don't know if it is a male-female, because I think Andy's got some amazing qualities, but I think for us that male-female working together does work extremely well for us.
Do you find that people in the business community react to you differently?
I personally haven't noticed that. We have very clear defined roles. Andy tends to be a lot more of the deliverer, the doer side of things. I'm the networker, the sales creator, and we don't conflict. Like lots of people say, oh gosh, what is it like working with your partner? It's hardly that we get up, we go into the office and we drive in together and we sit across the desk and stare at each other all day. That's not the case. We have got clear boundaries, clear defined roles. He knows what I do and respects it. I know what he does and respect it, and it works very well for us. And I think back to how people see us, I think we're both equally respected in that way.
Just quickly staying on the couples theme for a second, particularly for people out there who maybe are thinking about setting up a business with their partner, what would you say is the best thing about being in business with your life partner?
For us, certainly I get a real buzz out of achieving something together, about setting the goals together, about getting for it. We get home and I say, oh gosh, we've just won that, and we share that. I love the sharing of the successes. Equally, when things are not so good, it's quite nice because we're both in it together. We sort of work off each other really, and we see things and we write things. And for us, now I do know there are lots of people. There successful partnerships where it's worked really well, but I do know some where it's worked not so well. But for us, I enjoy the being in it together.
Okay, so just talking about challenging times and obviously motivating yourself to bounce back. It's a challenging market at the moment, and I'm sure a lot of people who were maybe thinking of starting their own business are now reconsidering because they're not sure what to do in the present circumstances. What advice would you give to those people right now?
It is an interesting one because I actually think you're quite right. It is a tough time, but equally tough times do present lots of opportunities too, and there are opportunities out there and niches out there. And I think personally, the smaller, the more agile, more nimble businesses we can change quickly, we can respond to the market. And I actually, for instance, a pal of mine, she did work in a larger business. She sadly was made redundant, but she got the skills, she got the contacts, she got the networks, and we go for it on your own. But my advice would be certainly research, don't just jump in, research your market, make sure that you've got the monies to, lots of people are being made redundant. Maybe, as it was in my case, you've got a little cushion, you've got something that you can start with. Don't be reckless, don't just jump in. You will, you need 3 months, 6 months money before you learn. If you're invoiced today, it's going to take a while before your money comes in. So be planned, be prepared. But if you do research your market, if you do look around, yes, it's tough, but the recession does present opportunities for the more smaller business, the more nimble, the quick to respond. And just research it. Get help. There's people out there. There's lots of help. Talk to other people running businesses. But by all means, don't be put off. Do certainly think about it and give it a go.
That's great. Thank you very much, Jill.